Beneath the ancient Bodhi tree, Xiao Yan faced one of the greatest trials of his life. 100 lifetimes of reincarnation, endless illusions, and the temptation of supreme treasures, all stood before him. But what began as a desperate struggle soon turned into an opportunity so legendary, it could rewrite his destiny forever. Today, we dive into the incredible moment when Xiao Yan stepped into the Bodhi tree's enlightenment, purified its darkness, and emerged stronger than ever before. Under the towering ancient Bodhi tree, Xiao Yan's journey took a turn that few could ever imagine. In that moment, he experienced the baptism of 100 lifetimes of reincarnation. His cultivation soared, directly pushing him to the peak of Nine-Turn Dou Zun, while countless supreme treasures fell into his grasp. But the road to such fortune was never simple. After Xiao Yan and his companions finally discovered the Bodhi tree, 5 terrifying semi-saints suddenly rushed out from its depths. Yet, they were not living warriors, but puppets, controlled entirely by the will of the tree. Before they could react, Xiao Yan and the others were dragged into the Bodhi tree's illusion as well, their minds shackled by its overwhelming power. If not for the Bodhi seeds Xiao Yan had obtained earlier, seeds that cleared his mind in the nick of time, he too might have been lost in the illusion forever, just like those semi-saint puppets. When he shattered the illusion, Xiao Yan found himself standing in an emerald green world, face to face with a miniature glowing Bodhi tree. Fury rose in him, and he demanded to know what the ancient tree's true intentions were. In response, the tree didn't speak but projected light and shadow, revealing a memory buried in dust. The vision showed a battle of ages long past. A black-robed Dou Emperor once tried to seize the Bodhi tree's spirit to heal his grievous wounds. But before he could succeed, he was struck down, killed by another mysterious Dou Emperor alongside the tree itself. Yet, in the moment of his fall, the black-robed Emperor's boundless hatred and resentment seeped into the Bodhi tree. And over countless years, that venomous will gradually eroded its once pure spirit, birthing an evil consciousness. Through this vision, the Bodhi tree begged Xiao Yan for help, to cleanse it of this darkness. Xiao Yan was stunned. After all, this was the remnant will of a Dou Emperor. How could someone at his level possibly hope to erase such a thing? But once again, the tree revealed a path. By using heavenly flames to refine Bodhi seeds, Xiao Yan could create a strange, purifying energy capable of driving out the evil. Then, to Xiao Yan's shock, the Bodhi tree revealed more than 20 flawless Bodhi seeds, treasures so rare they could plunge the entire continent into bloody wars. Using them in this way felt extravagant, almost wasteful, but Xiao Yan knew he had no choice. He began refining. The process was grueling. Every seed demanded immense time and Dou Qi, and even after exhausting himself, he could only transform one seed into a single wisp of pure energy. That wisp, when merged into the tree, expelled a thread of black air, proving the method worked. But Xiao Yan's body was drained to its very limits. When he faltered, the Bodhi tree extended its aid. With a soft emerald glow, it manifested a cushion of pure life energy and guided Xiao Yan onto it. The instant he sat, his entire body trembled as endless vitality surged into him, instantly replenishing his energy and even expanding the foundation of his Dou Qi. It wasn't just recovery, this was nourishment from a limitless wellspring of power, one that could even lower the barriers toward Dou Sheng. With this discovery, Xiao Yan's spirit ignited. He no longer held back. Again and again, he burned his Dou Qi, refined the Bodhi seeds, and purified the darkness. Each time he collapsed, the tree refilled him with its boundless energy, and with each cycle, Xiao Yan grew stronger. Finally, as the last wisp of blackness was expelled, the Bodhi tree was cleansed. But the toll on Xiao Yan's soul was immense, and exhaustion consumed him. He slumped into a deep sleep, only for the tree to gently draw him into its trunk, merging him with its very heart. Meanwhile, outside, the illusion shattered, and one after another, Xiao Yan's companions were ejected into the open space. Faces pale and horrified, they realized the truth. If Xiao Yan hadn't purified the tree's evil, they would have been forever trapped like the puppets before them. Their eyes then fell upon the radiant Bodhi tree. Xun'er was the first to spot Xiao Yan fused within it, her expression tightening with worry. Gu Qingyang quickly stopped her, reminding her this could be the legendary opportunity of enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree. According to ancient records, the tree possessed 3 supreme treasures: the Bodhi mind, the Bodhi seeds, and the most mysterious of all, enlightenment through 100 reincarnations. A trial said to grant the chance of one day stepping into the realm of Dou Di. Though many dismissed it as a myth, the possibility alone was enough to drive countless powerhouses mad with desire. And now, before their very eyes, Xiao Yan had entered that trial. But not everyone was happy. Jiufeng of the Sky Demon Phoenix clan clenched his fists, jealousy twisting his face. Someone he despised was enjoying such a heaven-defying fortune. It was unbearable. Even Hun Yu, who wore his usual gentle smile, couldn't hide the tension in his hands. Opportunities like this were enough to make even saints falter. Hun Yu regretted not acting earlier, when they still had the chance to kill Xiao Yan. But now, it was too late. This pocket space was sealed, there was no summoning reinforcements, no sending messages. His and Jiufeng's eyes met, and cruelty flashed between them. Without hesitation, both struck at the Bodhi Tree, aiming directly at the silent Xiao Yan within. Xun'er reacted instantly, flames erupting into a crimson-gold palm strike to block them. But Hun Yu and Jiufeng ignored her, pouring their full strength into their attack. Their palms slammed against the tree, and in the next instant, a terrifying rebound blasted them back like ragdolls. Blood sprayed from their mouths as they crashed to the ground in tatters. Everyone froze. That casual backlash from the Bodhi Tree alone was enough to annihilate them if it wished. Its power was beyond imagination, untouchable by mortals. Relieved that Xiao Yan was unharmed, Xun'er glared coldly at Hun Yu and Jiufeng, flames burning in her eyes. But once again, Gu Qingyang stopped her. Any disturbance could risk disrupting Xiao Yan's enlightenment. Hun Yu and Jiufeng staggered to their feet, faces grim. They understood the truth, they couldn't touch the Bodhi Tree, nor the man within it. No matter how unwilling they were, their schemes were useless here. Tension filled the air as the three factions eyed each other warily, no one daring to make the next move. All they could do was wait. Because in this sealed space, the only key to survival and exit was Xiao Yan himself. As everyone waited in that sealed emerald space, they used the endless vitality around them to heal wounds and cultivate. Time slipped by slowly, and though the wait was long, no one could deny the benefits of this place. Many even managed to repair old hidden injuries and strengthen their foundations. Days turned into weeks, and before they realized it, an entire month had passed. Throughout it all, the ancient Bodhi Tree stood unmoving, its vast aura calm and eternal. Xiao Yan sat within, his presence so restrained it was as though he had vanished from existence. Though Xun'er and the others occasionally felt uneasy, they held back and remained patient. But patience was not universal. After another 7 days of silence, frustration began to boil. The sense of being trapped forever gnawed at some, driving them close to madness. Just when one cultivator was about to recklessly charge toward the tree, a subtle shift occurred. The figure within the Bodhi Tree stirred. Under countless gazes, Xiao Yan slowly opened his eyes. The month-long enlightenment beneath the Bodhi Tree had finally ended. In that instant, the very atmosphere of the space changed. Xiao Yan's gaze swept across the world with a depth that seemed eternal. In his eyes was the weight of countless lifetimes, as if he had lived and died 100 times. Everyone who met his gaze felt their souls pierced through, their secrets laid bare. It was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Xiao Yan! Xun'er called out in joy, though Hun Yu and Jiufeng felt only discomfort, as though every weakness in their hearts had been stripped naked. At first, Xiao Yan's voice was hoarse, ancient, carrying the vicissitudes of endless years. It startled everyone, for it was so unlike the man they knew. But slowly, as his consciousness settled, the ageless aura faded, disappearing deep into his soul. With a long exhale of emerald air, Xiao Yan rose, stepping out of the Bodhi Tree as naturally as water flowing from a spring. He stretched, smiled faintly, and with his clear, familiar voice, said softly, "I'm back." Relief flooded Xun'er's heart. She hurried to him, concern in her eyes, but Xiao Yan only reached out and gently stroked her long hair, saying nothing more. He knew too well what he had just endured. In that single month, his soul had passed through 100 reincarnations, walking the fine line between losing himself and holding onto his true heart. Only his unyielding willpower allowed him to return intact. The difficulty of this trial was no less than battling a Dou Shang head-on. Turning toward the Bodhi Tree, Xiao Yan bowed deeply, thanking it with sincerity. The tree answered with a soft rustle of leaves, as though acknowledging him. Everyone was stunned. So the Bodhi Tree truly did possess spiritual intelligence, it had simply ignored them all this time. Gu Qingyang stepped forward cautiously, unable to hide his shock. He whispered his doubt, asking if Xiao Yan had broken through to the realm of semi-saint. But Xiao Yan shook his head. He admitted he hadn't stepped into that level, but had instead stabilized his foundation at the absolute peak of Nine-Turn Dou Zun. To him, that single month had been like centuries, each reincarnation tempering his Dou Qi, chiseling away at impurities, until his base was solid as iron. He had no desire to chase empty shortcuts. His road would be built brick by brick. When his eyes shifted toward Hun Yu and Jiufeng, their bodies tensed instantly. Dou Qi surged, ready to defend or strike. But Xiao Yan was different now. He no longer flinched before their presence. The power coursing through his body filled him with unshakable confidence. Hun Yu's face darkened. That dangerous pressure radiating from Xiao Yan. It reminded him of only one person, a terrifying madman from his clan. As for Jiufeng, regret stabbed at him. If he had known Xiao Yan would reach this point, he would have risked everything to destroy him before this day. But now, it was far too late. At that moment, the ancient Bodhi tree erupted in radiant green light. Countless motes of energy bloomed, gathering together until they coalesced into shining treasures. Bodhi seeds, more than 20 of them, floated in the air. Just the sight of them drove the crowd into a frenzy. Jealousy flashed in everyone's eyes. Without hesitation, cultivators rushed to snatch them. But Xiao Yan simply lifted his hand, and all the seeds flew obediently into his grasp. With a calm smile, he thanked the Bodhi tree for its gift, then turned and shared the treasure. He gave seeds to Xun'er, Kai Lin, and Gu Qingyang, strengthening his allies. He even handed a few to neutral cultivators, urging them to avoid the conflict with the Soul Clan and not interfere in his battles. This generosity stunned many, and those who received them bowed in gratitude, hearts shaken by Xiao Yan's magnanimity. But Hun Yu and Jiufeng could no longer contain the storm in their hearts. Watching Xiao Yan seize the fortune of a lifetime, then casually distribute it as though he were the master of this place, their faces twisted darker and darker. Finally, Jiufeng snapped. His fury erupted, and his roar shook the entire emerald space, a howl of murderous intent that promised only one thing. The blood-soaked storm was far from over.